Call me all the time. Oh, can you be my high? Call me up, I'll make you fine. That was mighty fine. Oh, call me all the time. Ah, baby, ah, baby. Yeah, yeah. Call the group and hit the hay. With that bitch so hard, you know I like it, baby. And we vibing hard, you know I like it, baby. You got it right there in all the city, babe, all the way. Like, that don't leave me hanging the group and all the things.
Show?
You can't be over the party.
I like that being the intro to the show. The show with your shirt off is the first thing to be
You
heard.
cool like
Put the
Jackie
screen on.
Kane. Shoulda get right up in your face. Shoulda get
You
right
coming
up
back
in
for the
your
show? We gonna
face.
do
Like,
that.
can you be my girl and can you be my
Are you gonna be
baby?
shirtless?
Like the way you are, but you always bang me. Whether you like it
Is
some,
that sexist?
and you know I
Is that objectifying
I
men?
did the idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I said if I wanted to be, and you said, "Am I going to do the show?" I said no. Have I? And I said no. And so, if that's your suggestion that I should, will you be participating? Oh, okay. If you ain't participating, hey everybody,
Yep.
how y'all doing? I'm just joking. We understood that we were coming into fruition. Hey everybody out there watching in TV land and listening in radio app land. Welcome to Reinventing with TJ and myself.
Hi.
And the
Hello.
camera angle's a little different, so clearly that's because there's somebody else sitting in the seat. So go ahead and give her some flowers. Previously on other episodes of Reinventing, you may have seen her making an appearance in the Snapchat comment section and all of the above.
All the chats.
All the chats. The group chats, the Snapchats, the live chats, the what other? I was trying to think of some inappropriate chats, but I couldn't think of inappropriate chats.
There's like
What'd you say? That's why you gotta have your headphones so you can know that you can't be heard.
I get confused. Is that one 4 or is that one 1?
This is 4.
Oh,
That's
Am I
why.
not?
there you go.
Now you should be. Go ahead, talk to the people.
Okay, can you hear me?
There it
Okay,
is.
boom.
Ooh.
There it
There it
is.
goes.
It was
Ooh.
one of them.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said the back chat.
Oh.
You said something inappropriate. So
So back
Inappropriate.
chat is
such a funny
inappropriate.
word.
I think they are, right?
What?
Back chats?
I don't know, man. I'm inappropriate. It's not a world I live in, or maybe
No?
it's the world I stay in. So I don't know what
Oh.
I don't know what appropriate.
Like I
looks
don't know. I don't know what appropriate is. So I
Yeah.
definitely can't figure out what's inappropriate.
It just sounded, sounded like a regular
Regular situation.
day.
Like
you know. She be in the sections though, the comment section.
absolutely providing her perspectives and
Do the
thoughts and
hubs have
feelings.
chats?
They do. Well, they have they have comments. They
You
have a
gotta-
comment
hey,
section.
I've seen some of those, like just in memes, but like I feel like you have to be like a wild individual, or maybe you're into what you're into. You know what? Let me not judge.
No, some people just want to the verbally express
I don't-
whatever they're feeling about
I
what they
don't
just
like
watched.
this. I don't like this angle.
No, you have people that say similar things. Like I mean, sometimes just like on the medias and the grams, you'll have people that comment as if the actual person is going to see this and they're not.
Y'all stayed in this position for over 10 minutes, man. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's crazy.
I'm sure there's some.
You know,
We should do some
play.
perusing of hub comment sections just to see some of
Oh, no.
the commentary that pops up in there. I'm sure there's some microaggressions that get thrown in there. There's
No,
some
there's a reason why we haven't just made it yet. Because what I would do with like just funding and time, oh my god, like y'all get all this and I still have to go to work and shit in like class. Me just like having to do just this. Oh yeah, it's a wrap. It's over.
you're gonna find this man is going to turn into Lois Lane, journalist extraordinaire,
Absolutely,
and find all kinds of
that is
information.
terrible.
But back to any inappropriate, let's have an appropriate introduction of our guest, Said Gates, the infamous. How are you, madam?
I'm good. I'm good. Chilling. It's hot outside, but I'm chilling.
Okay. You maintaining, you dealing with the weather and whatnot. You good? You straight?
Yeah.
You don't like the heat, or do you like
No,
the
I
heat?
do.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you good.
I do like the heat.
So tell the people who you is and where you come from, what you do, what you represent, and all that. Give the people an understanding of who Gates be, because they hear us say shout out to Gates, but they don't be knowing
They
who
don't know
Gates
who I
be.
am.
So who Gates be?
Hey, my name is Gates or Jasmine, whatever. Founder of New Black History Makers. community serving brand, and we uplift Black people through media, merchandise, and events. Yeah, that's me though.
Black as fuck, guy.
I have a show on the Good News as well on Fridays, 3:30 to 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Let people know how they can support you.
Yeah. New Black History Makers on Instagram. You can. I don't have merch on. That's crazy. You can shop at newblackhistorymakers.com. We're also in stores, Fox Hills Mall, Uplift Us, and then on Melrose at Unloved LA. But yeah, you can buy merch. I think we have some cool pieces. So
in the stores, in the malls and stuff.
That's
Big
dope.
time. You don't have nothing in the car.
Do I have something in the car?
Yeah.
I do.
I'm about to say, I'd be surprised if you didn't have nothing to see. You can run out to the car, throw it on, and be like, yo, this is what it is.
I could.
Go buy that. Maybe after the commercial break, you'll have time.
Flash a shirt or something.
Just a little something. Just a little something. See, you got some flowers in the comment section.
Thank you.
Already.
Shout out to Lay.
Flowers.
I know her because of the what is it? We're calling it the back chat.
Yes. The back chat. Thanks, YouTube. I feel like you should get something off that. Don't just call it the back chat.
I say we rename it. We rename it since I am affiliated with
yes, whatever it is.
organizations, and you are affiliated with organizations. We should call it The Yard.
That's nice. This is a clever guy, you know? Like it's kind of smart up there.
It's sometimes every
some
once in a while.
stuff.
It's
Some
some
stuff.
every once in a while. I got some shots in my neck, so
organization
my brain
I
is
believe
working.
What did he play?
I did the lovely activity of, it's a funny story. I did Alpha Phi Omega,
Mhm.
and us and our infinite wisdom as the age that you're supposed to do it with when you're supposed to do it, because we're kind of young, is that we'll do this twice. Except I went to Gremlin, and at HBCU, it doesn't matter if you join the library club, you're gonna earn it. So after that, I was like, wow, I'm gonna enjoy it. And then, like, me and my infinite wisdom, I realized that when you're in college, all you really need is like 3 dudes and a matching t-shirt, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. So I was like, cool.
He's gonna do it again.
Yeah, he's here, man.
I'm just
He's
expressing.
he's very supportive.
I'm very supportive.
Oh,
of-
he is.
Yeah, I'm supportive because I understand him. So I know he wants to kind of do it again.
Okay.
So I'm just saying he's gonna do it again.
DC pokes the bear on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like you
Yeah.
know, Coleman love, man. Come get you some. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
secrets out, guys.
It's not. It's never been a secret on this
Oh,
show.
shit.
Like anybody that knows, they kind of understand it. But yeah, maybe after commercial break, you can throw your merch on and show people what you got. Make sure that you share all your love and comments on The Yard.
So that's what it's called now.
It's called The Yard, man. Why
That's
not?
I actually really like that though.
You guys should do something with it.
What we gonna do
A live show.
on The Yard? That's a different type of yard experience.
No, but you guys not on the yard.
I
but
know.
You guys are the yard, and people that come out get to
Oh, we run The
reinventing presents the yard.
This is really good.
Yard. Reinventing
this.
runs The Yard.
Look at this black excellence right here.
That's wonderful.
This shit just happened. This is
Brainstorming live on
this
air.
is like a business meeting right here. This
It is a
serious
business
shit.
meeting. Actually, since we're talking business,
Mhm.
and you do a lot of things for the community, for other people to know and for me, do you accept donations to your organization so that it goes towards things that you do in the community?
Yeah, of course, always. Should I say where?
You can. I mean, I'm going to
Oh.
ask you off air, but since it just came to mind, I figured I'd ask you.
Yeah.
now.
I mean, if I can elaborate a little bit.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I started doing community work first, and that's kind of what built the brand out. And then the merch came, and then people were like, "Oh, you want to wear it on a shirt? Cool, whatever." So now that I've built out the merch, it's in stores in the mall. Now I'm able to get back you see with the
Mhm.
community work and being able to get back into that. So, yes, if you can, but then also the merch is there so that I don't have to be this like begging activist, right? Or
Right.
this begging advocate. And it does well. So if you do want to donate, you are more than welcome. If you want to buy a shirt, you can count that as a donation or whatever. But it's all to support this greater good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spend the money.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say spend the money.
Absolutely. I've been talking to some people that were asking me things to donate to, and I was like, oh, okay,
Black History Makers.
yes. I mean, I was thinking of the center But I was like, oh yeah, the center is separate from. Okay, so I was just brainstorming and sending them a list of different things that I work with and support that they can donate to. So I was like, let me make sure, since I told them I talked to all these different people and asked them how people can support or donate or whatever the case is, and if they accept donations. So since you here, I can ask you in person.
Appreciate that.
Call it a day. So I'll let you know more about that
Thank you.
off air. But okay, great. So as far as normally the first segment of the show is our venting, us expressing something that has been on our mind or bothering us, or doing a check-in with how we've been throughout the last 7 days. So within the last, what we got, 15, he said 15, 16 minutes. Is that what he said? You are a guest. This is your opportunity to vent. What is something that has been pressing on your mind, on your heart, something that's been bothering you, or just a check-in of expression that you want to
And why
present?
is it white women?
Wow. Is that where we're going?
Absolutely. We can go in any direction.
Why is it white women?
Why? Why is it white?
That is
Period.
so
Why is it
funny,
white?
because
Period.
So many people would like crack up hearing you say that, because people just think that I hate white people. So I'm in alignment, I guess.
This worked out perfectly.
One thing that is bothering me, and it may be a white woman, are these I was trying not to let it bother me, but it's impossible. The Sesame Street videos that are going around.
Okay.
You know, I've seen people mention it, or seen some of that people writing up, or the write-ups or whatever about it, but to keep seeing these videos of them intentionally ignoring these children is weird.
Right.
It's really weird to me. And it's like, what is going on?
Just a couple things that I was looking, I glossed through it because I didn't have the opportunity to really listen to it, but I saw Van Lathan was posting a bunch of different things of like, it's isolated events, and then like some commercial that they had that seemed like it was ostracizing Black people and things of that nature. So it's like, it's all coming to light. And I think I mentioned that to you off air. It's like these people are among us. And,
Yeah.
I mentioned it to Eric. Shout out to the Get Right. I was talking to E, and he was just like letting him know, like, these people are among us, and we act as if they're not. Like, it can be anywhere, even something as simple as somebody working a character at your favorite whatever amusement park, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if I would call it amusement park.
Was this one isolated event, or was this? Had they?
No, they had it. It started off as one isolated event, and it just showed like the character, whoever's inside the character, ignoring 2 little Black girls, and then other people were like, "No, I have recordings of this happening as well." So they showed different times, different situations. I think 2 happened within the same day, and then other ones posted videos that had it happen, and then other people has just been piecing it together over the last few days of how like this has been happening at this specific park or event or situation.
Okay. Well, that takes away like an initial part, because initially I thought, like, I saw it like a couple different angles, and I was like, you got like, and maybe I'm thinking I'm projecting myself, but you got like a couple times before I see some continuous shit before I'm like, stop going there, stop supporting that thing, stop doing whatever. Right. So once I can eliminate that out of little, because I'm always like looking at us, because I expect, I don't know, I've been big on, I expect a dirty motherfucker to be a dirty motherfucker. So I'm not of the mindset to be like, I can't believe they did that, let's change their minds. Let's not. Let's just treat an enemy like an enemy and call it a day. That just is a lot. This is just way less stressful thing on my life.
But that was the thing, kind of my comment to Eric. It's like, you don't always know that the enemy is the enemy. You don't know who's in that costume. So you can't say that person is an enemy. And I know the character off the show. Clearly, this is not the character off the show, because that's a little puppet. This is the person in the costume. I can't say that this character is an enemy. I don't know the person playing the character is an enemy. They walk among us, and we pass them in everyday life. Some will be overt, some will be covert, but that doesn't mean that these people aren't out here. So how do you approach it if you don't know said enemy is in your presence?
Saw it on TikTok from Kev on Stage this morning, and it was so infuriating. There were like 5 different occasions, and they're apologizing, but it's fake as fuck. That's true. To answer your question, I don't know. I know it always sounds like hella stressful when I say it out loud, but like, I kind of go out and like, if I start you on the floor, you really have no way to let me down. Like, I just never go around going like, oh my God, this is an amazing, whatever. I'm like, are you on some shit? Especially if I'm in spaces where I feel like, if you know Disneyland has a history of whatever, all these places have histories of.
If
I just like saying if it
don't
sounded
say
nice,
if,
but
say that they have a history because we know that they have a
all
history
of
with some
these,
stuff.
all of
Shout out
these,
to Lay because she loves Disneyland very
She
much.
works at Disneyland.
No, she doesn't say she works at it. She just really, really loves Disneyland.
Oh, she loves it.
And I
Okay.
like poking the beer at her
oh,
sometimes.
she's
'cause-
getting to a place. Hang on, those characters would have definitely caught these hands, and then I would have
Had to-
had to explain to the kids why mommy had to whoop Elmo's ass. So I'm never opposed to that point. I'm not opposed to that point.
You gonna beat the mask off?
Potentially, I don't. I just like to like whatever that era was, where like you know they say you used to walk down the street. Like I remember that. I remember vividly like white men getting out of the way when Big Timmy was walking. And you know what? That type of racism I'm not necessarily opposed to because you could just stay on your side of the street if that's how you get down.
Right.
So with that, I'm like, I don't like some of this era where it's like filmed because I know me personally, I might not have balled Elmo up, but I'd have been like, hey man, there's 2 down there that you missed. Go wave. I'll really set this bitch off. Go wave. Like we could just keep it right. Sir, I'm like, you gonna go back and you're gonna sing with Elmo for those 2 right there. And then you can go wherever you need to go.
Or you
Now,
gonna sing with me?
yeah. There's like, you know, it's pick a partner because it's gonna be them 2 or it's gonna be me. If that's like we came here, you came here to do a job. I don't know. It's when like you came here to sing, and then when you put that suit on today, there. So with that, I like go both ways. One, I'm not here to excuse any racist nonsense, but also I have a very, very low tolerance for when we start doing this shit. Cause everything don't need this here. If somebody, it's a much difference from somebody doing this to me and somebody going, hey man, I'm like, oh, my bad, man, pick the phone up.
I mean, I would say you could do both. Today, you kind of have to do both because you can say some shit and people be like, that didn't happen. You're like, no. I distinctly, this was what it was. No, it didn't happen that way. Is there any proof? Oh, I don't have proof. Okay, fine. So if you got that film and then you can also confront and like, hey, I'm recording this just to make sure people understand. But my boy, there's 2 kids right there that said, what's up? You ain't gonna say nothing to them. This is on camera, so either you're gonna change your tone or this camera gonna come off and we're gonna have a different conversation. Mm-hmm. So at least have it to back you up. Because as a black person, if this happens to you in public at that type of white-owned, white-dominated space, you can pop off and be justified, but you're not gonna have evidence to show why you are justified. So protect yourself.
That's smart.
And I think the parents, I mean, they were probably just filming because they were coming up to their child and trying to get
feel
the
my
moment.
kids excited.
And then
I
it
want to
just so
get this
happened
moment.
that they ignored him.
Now, Lay, I understand that you saying like you gonna whoop Elmo ass and then we're never coming back. My question for you personally that you can put in the yard right now.
In the yard.
If it was Disneyland and that was Mickey, would you have that same energy of popping off on Mickey and never going back to Disneyland ever again?
That's crazy because I love Cap and I'm a Star Wars fan. Me and Darth would have to have it, son. Like, especially like I couldn't even imagine. Like, I got a kid. I'm trying to introduce my kid to the geek shit I'm into. Give him the Force, nigga. What's wrong with you? Yeah, we finna lift these planes. Get the lightsaber out. Get it out right now. These tickets are $500. Y'all finna get up here and do all the backflips, jump off that building, and land right here.
See,
wow, yeah.
Hey, it's possible because they didn't go to the Sesame Street situation expecting to be treated this way. So what if it's someplace that you really have an affinity for? Do you have that same energy of advocating for yourself? It can happen anywhere.
I didn't even see the video with Big Bird. 99% of the time, I'm entirely nonviolent, but Big Bird seemed to slap one of the kids, and that would have changed my mind. Yeah, I'm not even like, I don't.
Look here.
I'm not even like, what?
You gonna be 100-piece wing if you slap one of my kids. I'm just letting you know, right? I'm gonna fry the shit out.
I don't even think I would like raise my voice. If I saw like Big Bird slap my kid, I would just be like, hey, everybody else, I would like you all to gather your bail money. Like, what are we talking about?
Just letting you guys know right now what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to respond.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely like, yeah, go ahead and I'm a nigga who pays his parking tickets and shit, but y'all, I'm going today. Like, yeah. Quick, like,
how do you plead? Oh, I'm guilty.
I did that, Your Honor. I'm not even. We don't even have to waste no time. That video is accurate.
Right.
I did that. That's
how would you respond, madam, if you are in that situation? How would you advise our community to respond if we are in those types of spaces and have to deal with this type of treatment?
Well, I'm always a fan of being the example. like the one that's like, all right, I'm never doing that again to nobody.
Okay.
And I'm always okay with whatever the ramifications are of that. So if I need to nut up on you or if I need to kick you or something, I promise you the next time it's a little black kid right here, you probably gonna think twice about it. And I like being that person because I know a lot of black people are like, well, I shouldn't say anything or I didn't want to be this. And I'm like, no, I like smoke. So
everybody, we got to start using all them discernment posts y'all be posting. Like, use it. This is the opportunity. This discernment and all the what's that shit? Intuition. This is your time to shine. God damn it! Like, yeah.
When does the intuition come in here? Like, you need to.
Yeah, this is the moment. Like, there's a difference between like being because I like to be like funny on the show, but I'm very like reserved. But like when it registers, there's a thought process that goes, you did that. That was a level 2. I'll give you what your level is. You only did like a level 3 thing. I'm gonna check you level 3. I don't like when people go 4s and 5s when it was you could have. But when I register, it's a 10. Bitch, we out here. Yeah, that was a 10. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and tighten this up. Hold this. I'm gonna need you to hold that. Yeah, we out here. This is a 10. He did a level 10 thing. I'm gonna give you everything you asked for. I'm very big on reciprocity. You earned it. I'm gonna give it to you.
And I don't have children, but I do know that I have certain heightened feelings towards my family. I have 3 little brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I mean, if it were my children, right, that came from me, I think that would really be a heightened situation. Because I'm watching them like, this is wild because these are little babies and you feeling away or doing whatever. And it's like, yeah, it will be a problem for me.
So can it be the same affinity for us as, say, the black community? Like, say, for instance, other black people that may be there and they see this, do they like all look up together like, hey, these ain't my kids, but
that would be nice.
We should.
Because it could be your kid.
Yeah. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about how we just lack the ability to connect to something. So even when you had like, okay, police killing black boys or black men, it was like until it was somebody in your neighborhood that you knew, then you wanted to advocate. But when it was Trayvon Martin, we wanted to sit quiet and be like, well, what did he do?
Right.
So we have a problem with it. Like, why can't you put yourself in the shoes of being connected to the victim and then be upset about it or do something about it?
I want to ask you why you think that is. I have a perspective of why that is, but why do you think that we struggle with that, of seeing ourselves in our brothers and sisters' shoes?
I always say we're victims of the system, and a lot of black people just won't do the work to dismantle what these white people have been teaching us.
Accountability. I like it. I mean, I would say the same thing because it's the same concept as like snitches get stitches. We don't talk to the police, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But when your homeboy gets shot, now he did this, I heard to die. I got him on a shirt. Like, shut up. You knew what that nigga was involved in. You knew what type of lifestyle he was living. So you can't say this is okay when it's not happening to us, but have empathy for us over here when it is happening to us. You have to have somewhat of a uniform understanding or connection to these things emotionally. To the yard we go. It is. Right there. Yeah. Yeah.
You hit my child, I'm definitely going to jail. And I might whoop your ass again at my court date.
Wait, so did somebody's child, did I miss that video? Somebody's child got hit?
I mean, there's like little microaggressions. Some of them are avoiding, some of them are brushing by, but I'm glad you have the same energy. Like I can appreciate that. Your tears of having to let go of Disneyland will not go in vain.
My words are pretty strong and my fists take a lot, but if you hit my child, I don't know who would emerge. I know exactly who would emerge. Like I know full well.
Kratos is going to.
Like we're going.
Boy gets back.
Yeah, we're going way over there.
We got Ray, Lay, and Zay. That's our first sorority on the yard. Is the A's?
It's like the Powerpuff Girls. Like
they play the A's.
That's nice. Where are we at with this? Because I'll be missing this left and right.
It's okay.
That was 3 minutes over.
Yeah, you straight. You got a couple minutes. Go on. What's the rest of these commentaries?
Babies definitely need protecting.
Definitely. Especially ours.
This is
so
very, very happy.
Sister.
It's a lot of just ass kickery. It's a lot of hellos and then everybody kicking ass. And you know what? One band, one sound. I like it.
I'm not
everybody.
God forbid we all be in this space. in
I mean,
somebody's
I'm
life.
pretty sure that wasn't the only black family there. So I would just like to know, like, what is everybody else's feelings that are in that space? And everybody may not catch it at the same time because everybody's looking at their own kids. They may be looking at the character that they know their kids want to see. So everybody's attention is pulled away from this isolated incident.
Those moments are kind of like you said, like we've all said it, talked about like how to kind of put everybody in the space of solidarity. But I don't know necessarily how to go about that, because I do think like how you said, like this white man system is fucked this up, but everybody works from like in fear. Like everybody's mad fearful because, and my thing is always like, I would like us to kind of, I'm not gonna lie, take a page out of their book. You know, if you do something to that side, you know that there's something coming with it. You know, when you do something to this side, there's going to be a lot of tweets and some memes. Somebody might make a cool, you know, what one of them remix guy gonna make a song about it, and that's about as far as you're gonna get. Like on the other side, it'll be a barista who works in Arizona, and he'll be loaded up with an AR-15 ready for one of y'all to do something crazy off of a story that really wasn't true. He just saw a tagline on Reddit and he's ready to go. You saw a video of a nigga get stomped the other day, and you had a good 2 hours on Twitter, and then you saw a funny meme, and then that was it.
I'll say, well, I can't even say it was 2 hours because I feel like I legit, after I saw the clip initially the first day, did some extra scrolling, and there was like, I think the character Zoe or whatever, like the character had on the fucking Grand Wizard's outfit on with flames in the back. Like people already created memes about it, but that was the extent of it. We went straight to joking and laughing the pain away, and then some upset and uproar in the comment sections, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I like that.
Like we'll keep revisiting it, but like, yeah, we'll keep revisiting it, but there's no plan of action going forward. Like we get to A and B, and then we stop at B, and we don't go to C through Z.
I'm gonna meet you where you at. I would love to have the conversation and the talk, but I'm not finna empathize with a creature that doesn't have empathy. So you recognize that, oh shit, fire burns? It do. Because when you did it, it burnt. So when I burn back, if you just stay over there, we cool.
And I am Johnny Blaze.
Oh, commercial.
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 Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them.
The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast Pit is coming.
Yo, this is Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Are you looking to buy a home? Are you looking to sell your home? If your answer is yes, call the Walker Group at 310-421-6464. With over 18 years experience, the Walker Group has serviced clients throughout Southern California with their real estate need. Let us be of service to you as well. Once again, call the Walker Group at 310-421-6464 or visit our website at www.exprealty.com. Once again, that's www.exprealty.com.
Hey there, business owners. Don't miss our limited time offer. Advertise on the Good News Radio as low as $2 per commercial slot. That's right. Promote your business up to 4 times a day, every day for a month on live radio. If you're interested, email us at contact@tgnradio.net. Once again, that's contact@tgnradio.net.
Hey, Shariq LeMay.
Hey, what up, Jay Pinkay?
You already know what it is. You pulling up with me on Thursdays?
Oh, you already know Thursdays is lit.
What we doing?
We live on Limelight Live on TGN Talk.
You already know 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern for our East Coast folks. And hey, Calvin, why don't you join us sometimes?
Oh, gee, if you think I'm ready.
All right, Calvin.
What a clown. I can't.
We'll see you then.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you The Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned.
Are you single and ready to mingle? Well, you may not be, but now here's your chance to purchase an all-new 30-day journal, Single and Not Quite Ready to Mingle, a 30-day journal to make the most of your single season. It's by me, Chanel, co-host of Brunch with Besties show. You can purchase your journal right now on Amazon by typing in Single and Not Quite Ready to Mingle. Now is the time to do the work. I'm rooting for you. Go ahead and purchase your journal now. Single and Not Quite Ready to Mingle, a 30-day journal to make the most of your single season. Are you ready?
Damn. I thought I had it. I was hoping I had it.
It's me and my knees, y'all. It's I mean, yeah, man. Leg day's tomorrow, so it would have been today, but I was late. But mañana, squats and quads and all that jazz. You know, don't skip leg day, guys. It's important. So they say.
Oh wait, because
oh, wait on me. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the fucking. Well, I'm actually like enjoying the process of figuring out these angles because this is not my strong suit. So I actually like enjoy your struggle in this. Oh, for y'all that like are just listening and can't see, there's like a visual aspect to this, and the struggle is like at an all-time high. Oh, we're back. Got the,
back at it again.
there it is. Don't skip leg day and make sure to wear the appropriate attire for the ladies in the gym. Got you.
Are you wearing the attire for the ladies in the gym, or was that comment for the ladies in the gym?
I would assume that she's maybe saying that to those who are doing leg day in the gym, because me personally, I wear literally whatever. I have like the mindset of like working out with old dudes. Like I will wear like, I don't know, I'd be in the gym in a poncho. Like I don't give a shit. there are days that I've worn like gym stuff, and then there are days where I was like, this is cool. Like I'm gonna sweat regardless. I don't give a shit. Like
the old school gym rat mentality.
Oh yeah, like there's a hole in that inside. I'm like, yeah, pick up the weight. What's we talking about? Like, fuck you. Like, where you care? This is, like I've had like the fashion show speech, like those things. Like none of this matches. There's 50 different patterns. I grabbed whatever was in this bin that I have dedicated to like gym shit, and I'm in here. I don't care.
Understand, as you should.
I'm a walking Neanderthal in that aspect of my life. So
it's completely okay.
Yeah.
Are you
trying to post a link?
Oh, you're gonna
post a link for them to tune into the show. Oh, I was
I'm
like,
going to send you the appropriate attire for I'm mildly uncomfortable. Not in like general, but I just feel like she's gonna send me like
something wildly inappropriate. So don't. No.
Oh yeah, no, she'd be like, do leg day in a jock strap, and it's like they'll put me in jail.
Yeah,
like like that's it.
That doesn't protect black men at all. 7 inches or less. That comment. This is not the other show that you are used to watching. This is reinventing.
How long ago was that show?
Oh no, it's still here.
Oh,
it's still here. It's just not here yet. But
I don't have that type of restraint. I'm gonna figure out another outlet. I've been trying to be cool.
We've contained it. We've done well containing it in recent months, but it shall make its return. So in correlation to the original venting topic, as far as like just seeing things out in the world that frustrate you from the perspective of a black woman or a person of color. No. But even that statement can be triggering.
Yeah, like I use it like
we use it because we have to in the space.
But yeah, I don't like that should be co-opting. That should be co-opting black issues. I'm like, no man, this is a us thing. This is a us.
Yeah, because we still get the short end of the stick in that conversation.
Absolutely.
So
it's a way to include us as far as like 1.5%, but target it towards everybody else to get the benefit of it. I'm not a fan of it, but I understand having to utilize it within the spaces, and things like that. Whatever. I can use it and then speak against it at some point. But even something as simple as a term of phrase or an acronym or whatever the case is can be triggering for you culturally. And this is something that POC is like, we use that in the mental health space. So how does one as a Black person, as a Black woman, protect their mental health from a cultural standpoint when it comes to encountering things that can be triggering, from Zoe telling your kids to fuck off because they're Black to your struggles being minimized because you're another person of color like everyone else? How would you suggest someone approach their mental health struggles with that?
I mean, it's a lot. I think I've talked to you kind of offline about the like shield that I walk around with as a Black woman. Like, you kind of mentioned it, like just expecting when somebody trips that, oh, this is because I'm Black, or this is because I'm a Black woman, or whatever. So there's some level of like protection. I know that I travel a lot, and sometimes in traveling I realize like the shield is not necessary in certain countries because they don't look at us the same way. But I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, would you like to completely dismantle your PTSD of how white people treat Black people here? And they were like, no, because it's kind of like what keeps me safe. So that I'm walking around knowing like, you may not trip on me, but if you do, I'm ready. And I mean, y'all are like in mental health, but I don't know that it's necessarily the best thing to do, but like, I kind of walk around with a shield. Like, if anybody wants to pop off, I'm ready. If you provide a good experience for me, I'm more than welcome. I mean, more than willing to appreciate you for it and say whatever. But 8 times out of 10, I'm walking around with a guard. Like, I keep myself guarded.
So it's interesting that you use the word like shield. Stereotypically or whatever, shield is supposed to be something that protects you from danger, protects you in battle, things of that nature. In our field, it's like, oh, hypervigilance. You're super hyper vigilant because you've had traumatic experiences or you've been reintroduced to traumas to the point to where it's like, I live at 9 and 10. I don't know what it's like to be baseline at a 5 or a 4 or anything like that. So I'm walking around hyper aware, waiting for the inevitable to happen. Right. It's like the mistreatment of us is like the Thanos snap, like it is inevitable. So I'm just waiting for it to happen so that I know how to assemble and respond. But should you have to keep yourself in that type of anxious space on a regular basis? Like, how does that help you emotionally?
It doesn't. I mean, and that's why I'm like, it's not a good thing. And I've seen myself on the other side snap on people, right? Because I'm like, nah, I know how you coming at me, right? And I'm thinking like, maybe, I don't know, it didn't take all of that. But at the same time, it's like, there were some moments where the kid thing, it's like, but I'm going to be ready in that moment, right? I'm going to be ready should somebody do something in my space to a Black person, to a Black man, Black woman, or whatever. So it's just one of them things where I'm like, I have to learn when I can take it off. I can't have it on all the time. So that's, I guess, where the happy medium is it's on when I'm in spaces that I'm unfamiliar with, especially around non-Black people. But I do know where my safe spaces are, and I do frequent my safe spaces where that can be dropped off and I don't have to be as anxious.
Okay.
I sometimes feel like that's not the right like analogy. Like shield, you know, to me always feels like you put your shield up and you just take brunt after brunt. Sometimes I feel like what we do as a community is really a spear. Like I'm more prepared, like, wait a minute, motherfucker, like, hey, because I'm finna fuck you up before you fuck me up, as opposed to being on, I don't know, like I think there's a healthy space of being on defense. If I go in and I know like just the way the world is, like logically, there are people who have preconceptions about me being Black man, this, that, and the third. So when I'm like, me and you've discussed it, like I'm in general, this is actually, I'm telling myself, this is my general tone. I'm usually rather quiet, rather reserved. I want to present as unthreatening as possible sometimes because I know how I come off. But I'm not necessarily always like, in that mood, you touch my kid, I'm definitely going to snap. But in general, I'm more so of like doing defense of how, like, I don't know, man, defense in martial arts where you're going to throw it and I'm going to like block them off and be like, hey, relax. Right. As opposed to how sometimes we say like the shield thing, but a lot of those things, how they're described is like, I'm going to really knock your shit off. I'm not really a shield. Like I'm really walking around with 2 axes. Like who the fuck won't? And that's just, sometimes I feel like that's how you take, as I said before, like you take a 4 and turn it to a 10. Because you're so ready that what may have been a misunderstanding is like, oh no, I've had this before, which is the PTSD. I'm now super triggered. make me feel like, you know, whatever happened before, and now I'm finna tear the roof off this hole. And it's like, you probably could have talked that out.
Right. Which is an important, like you bring up an important correlation to pay attention to, because there's multiple responses. Like how you utilize a shield is different than how you utilize a spear. Some people will choose the shield. Some people will choose the spear. It made me think of, I can't remember her name, but an African woman that I watched her TED Talk a few times. And she was just saying, like, based on the oppression and things that she experienced when it comes to apartheid and things in Africa, like when she traveled outside of her country and she was in a space, she was having a conversation with some people in the lunch area and they approached her and she just automatically just got up and just walked away because she's like, I'm not going to let this white person tell me that I can't sit here. So I'm just going to leave before they even have the opportunity to tell me that I can't sit here. And then she was like, why is everybody still sitting there? She's like, the person came to ask us for our order. Like she didn't even process that this person was their waitress that was there to serve them. I've been going through this so much that I'm going to be proactive and remove myself and not have to, like, I'm going to be avoidant in some capacity. I'm going to be proactive, but I'm going to be avoidant because my PTSD tells me that this thing is guaranteed to happen. Somebody else may automatically and just pop up. Be like, you're not going to tell me that I can't sit here. Like, you right. Because I would just wanted to know like what sodas you wanted and what you wanted to eat. But us having this preconceived notion that the negative is going to approach us. So it even goes back to say our culture, especially in Southern California, LA culture, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. That's essentially what we're describing. A part of our culture or a part of our identity is stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. But that's a state of anxiety and hypervigilance. Am I going to spear or am I going to shield, which is not healthy for us? When do we get to relax?
And people ask me all the time, like, I guess it's the fun thing to ask, like, do you hang around white people? And my answer is always no. Like, and it's not because I have throughout my life been like, no, white person, I don't want to be your friend, right? But like my brand is called New Black History Makers. My brand is called New Black History Makers. Like my life, that's my life, you know, so my life's work is around that. So me hanging around a whole bunch of white people, I'm sorry, that's not doing the work that, you know, I feel like I've been put here to do. And just naturally, it's like, I'm just not around them, but I'm also not around them because I know and I don't want to say anxious, like I can't sit around white people and, you know, be who I am, but I'm not the most comfortable. And I want to be very comfortable in most times, you know, because I'm always advocating. I'm always like pushing the envelope. I'm always in a space where I'm like, I know I said that and they're going to be like, oh, that was a little too rough.
Right.
So I try to put myself when I can choose where I'm going to be or where I want to be in spaces that are comfortable. And that's not around non-Black people.
Right.
It's typically around Black people. So it's just one of those things where it's like being mindful of it. But I'm very aware of the fact that, like, you know, I have snapped, or like even Sunday I'm out. We went out to church. Out to eat after church, and a couple got up because they were leaving early. Asian lady runs over that works there. She's like, "Did y'all pay or whatever?" And I'm sitting there like, and we had paid already and everything. We were just sitting there, and I'm like, I wanted to check her, like, what made you run over here and do that before they got up and they already paid? Why didn't you ask? Or if you've really been watching, like, I'm just confused as to what made you run over here, right? But it's like, oh, am I going to be the aggressive one in this space? Am I going to be that person that's like, oh, they're being racist or whatever? But yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm most comfortable when around Black people. And another conversation about sometimes they make you uncomfortable too, but
right.
You know,
I mean, I had a friend ask me the same question in a conversation last week. Like I have conversations with them. So they're biracial, but were raised predominantly in the opposite race's ideals.
Okay.
So they may not be as informed when it comes to Black culture, or like say things that we may know that's stereotypical to us. Like for us, like, yeah, watching The Wood or seeing Boys in the Hood, that's like, oh, that's part of Black culture. Like that's a Black rites of passage. For them, they're like, I've never seen these things because my parent didn't expose me to this. We were exposed to this side of the culture. But they were asking me like, so you don't have any white friends? Because I made the comment of like, I always side eye white people. It's not like my minor bias towards them because of my understanding of our cultural experience is going to make me like, I'm going to allow you in the space in some capacity, but I'm still going to watch you just to make sure that I'm aware of, you may not be a racist, but you could have microaggressions that you are ignorant of, and I have to be aware of how I want to respond to them in a healthy way to either assist you or dismiss you. I don't know which one it's going to be. Depends on the person and the situation, but for those reasons, I side-eye them. But that's also reasons why I don't really have any white friends. Like I've had white teammates that some I'm closer to than others. I've always been very personable. I've always been very respectful. I have white clients. I have white colleagues and things of that nature. But as far as like, I'm in the group chat with you on a regular basis. Like I'm doing things with you. I'm including you in my life and your life. Like I don't have white people that I have that affinity to. I have my biases towards some, but I don't have any that I have a strong enough affinity for to allow you into my close proximity and cultural spaces. So I can understand and resonate with that, but also it made me think of when you say I have a brand that is geared towards this specific thing culturally, it made me think of, say, Hillary Banks's character on Bel Air.
Yeah.
She's like, my brand is cooking food that are culturally represented to my people. I have my spices and blends and things of that nature for my people. And you're telling me that you want me to dole that down for your benefit. You want me to dismiss my people, dismiss my culture, dismiss my roots for your benefit. That doesn't make sense, because what got me in front of you is staying true to that. So I can understand how sometimes for us, it's like, do I do the give and take as far as my brand? Because you are a brand business. I, as a therapist, I am a brand. He's working on building his brand to become a therapist. Like, how do I enter into a space and present that and still, in a healthy way, have my bias, because it is a bias, but also be able to function with people that are identifying within the bias that I have without popping off or without completely drawing a barrier or a boundary?
I've had practice because I worked for a couple years in Orange County, and like that experience, I realized like what made me comfortable is like I can't walk around, because some of them was like you said, it was just little microaggressions. Like I had to kind of do the understanding of that shit you said was some blatant racist horse shit.
Right.
What you said was dumb, but you just don't know. And I'm almost finna lose my mind getting mad at you for not knowing. And I just put it all in context. You're XYZ age, you've lived here your whole life. I'm maybe the first individual you've ever seen. So what I'm finna do is, while you've mildly irritated me, I'm gonna go ahead and piss in the water. Like, instead of me coming to work wearing like, you know, the company, whatever, you know, a lot of these spaces when you work with kids, you can wear more or less free dressing because it's up, kids are active. So I was like, that was maybe I'm not like, I don't buy a lot of stuff, but at that moment, every other week, I'm buying something obnoxiously black,
right, so
that I can have those. Hey, what's Juneteenth? How about you? I could explain it, but you're on break right now, right? You finna go back in the classroom? Yeah, Google it real quick.
Right.
And so maybe an hour later, I saw what that was. I had no idea. There's so much more, and you should learn about it.
Right.
You should go. So now I'm like, okay, that was cool with me. Then when we're having like, you know, let's go out for like a work drink, and somebody says something stupid that's like, that's where I get my little like, I'm gonna pull out my spear.
Right.
Like I got a little dagger, because I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of get me some, because some of y'all might end up being decent people, and those who are pieces of shit, I get to kind of cut the wheat from the tare. Because now you get like a, you know, like a Trayvon Martin. That was like during that time, and it was like, well, I don't understand, and I was like, what exactly don't you understand? Let's discuss it. And now we have one of those like, you're not finna pop off because you have no. I don't know. I'm big on sometimes using, if you're gonna be racist, I'm gonna use it to my benefit. You're not finna raise your voice at me. Right. You have no idea if I'm gonna tear your spine out. So now we get to have the conversation for real. Some of y'all, you individually, you might not be. You might be the guy. You might just be sacrificial lamb. But some of y'all might be better human beings. And if y'all are better human beings, I can at least worry at least 5 to 10% less that you're gonna go out there and create another one of these stories on the news. So I get my little rocks off like that.
I mean, having the benefit of the spear approach, which I can understand. Like that makes me think of when months ago or last year when I went to North Carolina with moms to check it out. Like we ended up going, like we driving around so much, we ended up going from Charlotte and crossing the border into South Carolina. Mm-hmm. My family's from Savannah in South Carolina, so I already know what time it is in South Carolina, and we wasn't in the black part. But for me, I packed my bag before we got there, being hyper vigilant of like, I know I'm about to come in contact with some Trumpers. I know they're gonna be out here. I got the long fatigue trench coat. I got my Fannie Lou shirt on. I got some boots, and I'm like, I'm in South Carolina. We out to eat. Place full of white people. I'm in there grilling the whole 9 yards. Like I'm black as fuck in this really conservative white area, eating with my mom, and I dare y'all to say something. But it also would provide me, because I know how to maneuver in both spaces, it will provide me the opportunity to look as if I'm going to spear you, but I am not. I know how to utilize the shield and wait for a patient opening and stick appropriately. So that makes me think of, say, for us, we're talking about two different approaches of spear and shield, but for us, we need to, as a good Christian woman, wear the full armor of God. The full armor of God. Sometimes you have to have both, right? As opposed to picking one or the other, sometimes you need to have both at all times to create balance, because not everything that seems like you should attack is a spot
that's
for you to
included
attack.
in the armor, a sword.
Of course, it is, but sometimes we don't know that. Sometimes we just like, this is my approach. This is my response to these type of situations.
Yeah.
Just this or just this. And it's like, no, you need to have both, because
Yeah.
when you are battling or protecting yourself, like they are one and the same.
Mhm.
If you are fighting, you have to know how to evade, block, and attack.
Yeah. And I think, and it's crazy because I was thinking about that too. As you know, of course, I go back and forth, not back and forth, but there's a lot of conversations with being pro-black and being Christian or whatever, but people misinterpreting our religion or our faith with this docile, even the people that are in the religion, not doing the research enough or not knowing enough about the Bible and the stories to know, like, this is not a necessary, like a docile, just do to me whatever, and I'm just going to forgive everything. That's not necessarily what the religion is, but it's something where even me being an advocate, right? Like me having to understand, like being effective, and me still having to be aggressive even with Black people, but then also understanding being aggressive with white people too when I'm talking to them, but also being effective.
Right.
So it's that thing, like,
turn the other cheek into a spinning back fist, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
He's said it on the show before. This is not a new thing.
It doesn't even shock me that he said it.
I never understand the docile part of the Christian thing. The end of the story is the biggest war ever. Like there's dragons and shit. Like it's fucking wild. Like Harry Potter and then be damned. There's some crazy shit on the way. If you're a subscriber, like, so what we passing for?
Subscriber.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there was flooding, kids was dying. Do you know how mad you got to be at the people to rain fire on them? You
People
niggas
don't
will
read, though.
burn from the top. That's wild.
We know.
Yeah, but it's a thing where I have, like you said, I can sit there and I'm probably wear something Black too, or I come off with this energy, and you can think that I'm gonna, go, but I also am like waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for that moment for other Black people in the space too, because I know that because of the energy that I hold or whatever, I'm not the most approachable, so it may not come right here, but it may come to them, and just know, like, it's still the wrong person. It's still the wrong time because I'm here. But it's an interesting thing, because that PTSD or that anxiety, it's not healthy, it's something where it's like, I'm not giving white people the benefit of the doubt.
Right. It's going to make you maneuver and move in a certain way, and you're kind of forced to move with the trauma response being your route of movement, which sucks. Because even for me, like, say, business wise, with us all being brands in some capacity. So recently, within the last month, I've had one of my supervisors like trying to put me in contact with other Black therapists, one of which is an older Black lady that's trying to transition out the space, and she wants somebody to take over her business and take over things for her. So she like invited her in to have a conversation with me about it, give me the rundown as far as who she services, what she does, would I be interested in taking over once I get licensed, and things of that nature. But she was like, I'll be honest with you, it's in Santa Clarita, and that's you. I'm gonna let you know, this is Trump country. You're gonna come across, like, she's giving me the rundown, but in my mind, I have the choice of, like, I can go and take over her business and float it from there and have some this, that, and the other, blah, 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 streams of income. Or my Blackness is like, fuck with them people. I ain't going, I'm here to service my community. They're not my community. Right. So it's like the conundrum of, like, Do I do the work, or do I avoid the work or dismiss the work because it's not in alignment with my cultural view? Like, do I pick mental health over culture? Do I pick culture over mental health? Do I combine the two? Like, how do I
And that's tough.
approach it?
Being people that serve our community as the Black people that serve it or that are in here. I think we talk about it too, but it's like, do I continue to stay here? Because I get it, right? I've found my power. I found my freedom. I found where I do not validate white people's or the society's opinions of me, so I can move and I can, we talked me not living here in America, right? I can move and do that, but then what happens to the people that are affected by the work that I do?
Right.
The people that are affected by the merch that I sell. It's like, do I just leave them and protect my own sanity? Because I get it. I feel like if I go and move, I would be a thriving Black woman over there living my best life, protecting my mind, protecting my spirit, and I will have a good life with just me. But staying here, it's like, I have to, like you said, battle with that mental health for the sake of my community. And that's literally the only reason.
So
I think there's a part of it
go ahead.
Leading by example, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big on, I think that sometimes where a lot of us that are on one accord, have an understanding can, y'all could build Wakanda tomorrow, is we do a lot of, and I'm not for leaving people behind necessarily. I will walk through the door and I'll leave it unlocked and I'll leave it open. But I'm not necessarily, I've grown more and more out of coming back to grab somebody and push you through the door.
Yeah.
No, I left it open. The code is 1111. And as soon as if you could run through it, I'm not going to, I'm gonna be on the other side though. Because the time I'm taking trying to convince, it's like we wasted time. There's 50 people over here that are raring to go, and I'm trying to save 200 that don't know left from right. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've done a bit where it's like, hey man, I see you, whatever. And cool. You want to talk about? So yeah. All right, cool. I got one. I didn't get 10, but I got a solid fucking one.
Yeah.
Right. It sucks to have the realization that sometimes leading by example is your best way of doing it, because coming back to exert that extra energy is going to derail the actual thing that you're trying to accomplish in the first place.
Right.
But
and they busied us with so many other fights and fight for this, be in the front of this. So sometimes you just wasting your time talking.
Are these fights for me, or is this a fight for you?
It ain't for us.
Or are you saying this is a fight for me so that you can
right.
benefit? Like, well, how are we approaching this? But we'll get into that more after these commercials. So enjoy. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Commercials. So enjoy. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl Jules from the Primos Chidos. Did you know that recent studies have proven that the Primos Chidos radio increases life expectancy and loss of weight? So make sure to catch us every Thursday at 12 p.m. on the TGN Latinx station.
Birthdays are meant for celebration. And when it comes to celebrating, Flour and Sugar never misses a beat. Offering custom cake designs to fit any special occasion, your cake will be the talk around town. From sushi cakes to perfume bottles, everything is always edible with flavors like Oreo, banana pudding, and our top flavor, strawberry shortcake. I can't miss. Order your special cake today by email at flourandsugarla@gmail.com or visit our website at flourandsugar.store. Or if you want to see new design, follow us on Instagram at _flour_and_sugar_.
Emmanuel Jones, also known as Zach, the original Black Ranger. Hey, and make sure you're checking out TGN Radio. Hey.
Peace, family, brother Reza. I'm here. You already know I'm checking in with TGN Radio, Black owned. So you already know that's where I'm at. Tap in.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming.
The Podcast Pit is coming. Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The podcast pit is coming. The podcast
pit is coming.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alex Himes from Courtside Radio. We love to have you tuning in every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. right here on the Good News Radio Network. Don't forget to tune in every week, people. We'll see you then.
Sundays just got sweeter. The Hub Radio presents First Sundays Open Mic, hosted by Hub City Dre, DJ Gamma Ray, and the First Sundays Band. They're inviting all singers, rappers, comedians, and poets to show up and show out. Signups begin at 6 p.m. Sundays Open Mic will take place every first Sunday of the month. It's just $10 before 8 p.m. and $20 after, so arrive early. The address is 1135 East Compton Boulevard. That's 1135 East Compton Boulevard in Compton, California. For more information, follow them on IG at First Sundays Open Mic.
Hey, heathens and hoes. It is the baddest bitch on the block, Eric Devante from the Get Right Radio Show. Here to remind you
One more so than the other. Shout out to the Get Right every time. Heathens and hoes. That's like my favorite exit.
I want that on a t-shirt so bad.
Heathens and hoes, absolutely. I mean, we've had plenty of t-shirt ideas that we haven't jumped
But
on
like
yet.
that's theirs. I want them to do it.
Let me do y'all t-shirts.
I get a heathen and a hoe. What happened?
I said, let me do y'all t-shirts. I got to eat first.
Wonderful, because I have an idea for a t-shirt, and it's been in my mind for like 4 years, and it's making white people uncomfortable since 1986.
Oh, that's the
That's the t-shirt.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say if anybody thought that I was gonna go anywhere outside of in-house to get anything done.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
they're
not
on
going out
drugs.
of house unless it's absolutely necessary. But
Wait,
in-house, for
am
sure.
I in-house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know in-house with y'all too.
In-house.
You just no. You leave this mic here for the rest of the day. You shall not. You shall remain nameless. But
I was just clarifying.
it's okay. It's okay. I
wanna
understand.
insert
Effective
myself.
communication. I'm going to default to that. Before we take a stroll through the yard and go through all these different comments that you guys have been throwing out there, thank you so much for your participation. I see that you guys are enjoying the conversation, and I appreciate that. I have one question before we jump
me?
into that. Yeah, for you.
Wow.
Like, I'm sure we've all seen like different memes of how like some random white person or old person like has on Divine 9 gear that they found at like at a Goodwill or something, and they just wearing it and don't know
send
better.
Those to every single friend I've got and every single one every time.
So like, what do you do if you see like said old white person with new Black History Makers clothing on? Like, how do you respond to that?
With new Black History? I don't. So I mean, there have been non-Black people that have purchased for me, right? And my thought in that is, you know, you want to walk around with that on, go ahead. Your money is green. I'm gonna take it or whatever. It's interesting. If I see it, because I have not seen. I don't know.
Because in my mind, part of like what we understand of Black history was created by y'all and your lies in the first place. So now you saying you're gonna create new lies? What you trying to say?
Right.
What you trying to say? What?
Yeah,
you the new Black History Maker. What you trying to say, partner?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So that's one thing that I've had to really sit with. I'm one, like, people will tell me, oh, I need to really curtail myself or be a little more tactful, not tactful, but not as harsh as I am when it comes to talking about like our culture and things that need to switch or white people. Now being a business owner, that is the only thing that I will be like 0.5% mindful of. If it was somebody else's brand and the white person had it on, I'll be like, what are you doing? Right. But as the business owner, definitely a side eye, like I would have the conversation though. But if it was somebody else's brand and it wasn't my brand, I would go to, I don't want to say an immature response, but more of a why did you think you could put that on? But with mine, I would still check it, but I would be more so of like, let's have a conversation.
Right. Like, that's a nice shirt that you have on.
Yeah.
Do you know what it means? You know what it
And I would
represents?
say
Like,
I'm the
where'd you get
founder,
that?
right.
I'd save that. I'd be a dick and I just, hey, I like that shirt. Right. Black History Makers. That's quite interesting. Why did you get that? Like, what does that represent? Just like help me understand. and just kind of take them to an uncomfortable conversation and be
Definitely
like, oh well,
uncomfortable.
I just so happened, here's my card.
Right.
Like, oh, you work for the company? No, I am.
Right.
I am the
It's
company,
me.
which is why I asked you. Thank you for your bread, though. Appreciate you, big dog.
I don't know. All types of shit like that makes me uncomfortable. Like just other people like just kind of co-opting shit that's us. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. As much as I be trying to make these little real shits, what stops me dead in my tracks is when I find the real and the soundbite is something exclusively us. None of y'all watched this movie. None of y'all have seen this film. You didn't listen to this song. And it's like 50 white people. I was like, why you use this soundbite? This don't mean shit to you.
Yeah.
You ain't never, like, you wasn't hitting them corners that fast, nigga. That shit does not matter to you.
Right.
You did not watch this movie like that.
My homeboy sent me a meme earlier today of like a little white boy, clearly in the country in the South somewhere, like with a loudspeaker on his back porch or whatever, like singing, cruising down the street in my 6'4". And he's like, I believe I sent that to you, but he can't be no more than like 7 or 8, but he's singing the lyrics word for word, nigga included. And like his family's just in the back laughing at him singing the song, but you have no idea what you're singing. It sounds cool. You don't know what you're representing. You don't know what the experience that comes from that. You don't know what created that thing that you're identifying with or connecting to. Like you don't have a bridge to that.
Right.
It's fantasy to you, and you like the
And
fantasy.
And hearing things like that make me trust white people even less. Because why are you not having a conversation with your? Why is that okay? Or
what was that shit that just happened this past couple weeks? Roddy Ricch, when he was at the festival.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that shit and I was mad at like little shit. I just didn't even like. I was like, why y'all so comfortable? Like nobody's scared in this crowd. Nobody anywhere is just scared they're gonna get hit or fucking nothing. It was just total fuck 12 fuck swap, mate. It's lovely. She sucked the nigga so. Gosh, I didn't like that shit at all. I don't even think I could process that they were saying nigga. I just was so mad. I was like, they just don't care. Yeah.
Would you stop your concert and be like, hey, I know y'all sing with my lyrics, but y'all don't say that.
Made sure that I don't have any musical ability because I would act. I think if I was like, and maybe not like a Roddy Ricch, I don't know his pockets, but if I was like dumb rich, like if I was like, nigga, if I'm like Hove, I'm gonna pay for 10,000 fight niggas to stand in the crowd, and it's like everybody pick a section, and you might not all get whooped, but you don't want to be the one who gets hit. Say it right, all right? We can sing this song. I'm watching. You in the front, motherfucker. I'm looking at you. Say it if you want to. I'll come off this stage.
And it's like people trip. I mean, I think we all share the same sentiment towards white people and not having them in close proximity to us or whatever. But it's like all of those white people got some black friends. I wouldn't want a white person that's comfortable doing that. I wouldn't want to, if I was friends or close to a white person, you need to not be comfortable in that space.
All white people have black presenting friends or black identifying friends, because there is a difference.
But okay, so you got to explain that.
So there's a lot of white people that have black friends that are presenting because they have the skin color, but they do not identify with the culture.
A lot of Herschel Walker friends.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck dog. And
So you switched last year. It was Terry Crews and fuck Terry Crews. Now you just switched to
Terry
Herschel.
been quiet. I think he was listening because he ain't said no shit lately. But Herschel, fuck that nigga. Weird ass son.
Herschel and Hodge twins, man.
Damn man.
My homeboy sends me certain posts that they post on their page is not them, and I'd be like, you do know who shit you sending me, right?
Like, yeah, and like as somebody who like tries to, have all the conversation and it's some shit that I'm very okay with. That's just bliggity black. Like when I see the arguments of like even with this conversation of like music artists, whatever, I can say it because I'm black and I've earned it because I'm black. That's the end. Y'all can't have a word. Like I can pull up. There's systemic things like anything, man. Pick it out the hat. How come you can say nigga redlining, fucker? Like that's why. Kiss my ass. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why can you say nigger? Because there's no nose on the Sphinx. That's why. Shut up talking to me. I can say
And
it.
if you're asking me that, I don't want you around me. And I don't need you around me. If you can't just understand. So that's why it's like just my trust for white people, it doesn't even go up to like 0.01. It just every time there's something different. It just drop. I'm like, that's why I can't have him around me. It just drops.
I trust y'all the length of the tip of the spear.
In my
and
mind,
I will use it.
In my mind, I feel like she'll be in Starbucks and then like stand on top of the counter to be like, make my shit right, bitch ass nigga. Where's it at? Because I don't trust y'all.
Chad, make it right.
3 pumps. That's not a third pump.
And it's something new every day. It's something new every day. That's like, why would I trust you? Why? You keep giving me no reason.
You forced my hand.
And people think it's harsh, but it's like, I think
it's a relevant response for us that we got to navigate through. It's uncomfortable, but it is a relevant response that we have. Let's take it to the yard. We got lots of commentary to get
the
through.
Yard. Put that on the shirt.
Dismantling my racial PTSD led me to being constantly angry in certain spaces, but the anger has been incredibly therapeutic now that I realize it's justified. The anger is invisible, but it's there. That's fair. I mean,
Is Ray a man or woman?
Lady folk.
We have a very progressive lady folk support system.
Do you have to address that? I'm trying to be I'm not even trying to make a joke.
Address what?
She's lady folk and born lady folk.
I mean,
do you have to make that distinction? I'm not even trying to be a dick.
No, I understand. You do have to, because even for me, like sometimes people will be like say, I've talked about Wearable before. So sometimes we'll have games where it's like, oh, we're gonna do the all women game, and I'll be like, all women, because like maybe not all the women identify as women. You're gonna say an all female game because that's more
wildly hyper aware of this shit on the like today I'll go in and there'll be an intake and I'll have to be like, address this motherfucker properly. Don't even fuck around. I don't care. Was working with older people that have been like with the company for a while. I don't understand that. It's not what we hired. You're not here to understand. What you are here to do is what that shit say on that file. You say that.
Right.
Understand later.
That's a different conversation that we got, because we had the PTSD for culture conversation. We can add a PTSD as far as being a social worker, a mental health worker conversation, because there's things that we have to or are forced to be faced with that we may not always agree with.
I cringe on a daily basis in my real life.
Absolutely.
I can understand that. I'm an extrovert, but won't be overly loud because I don't want the title of loud and ghetto. You definitely use certain shields and spears to protect yourself.
You can call me loud and ghetto. I mean, I'm not usually coming with ghetto, but if you want to label me that because I'm advocating then. And not to her response, just to white people that make me.
Bars.
I can dive into that, but I'm not.
But to be in a state of anger
I
all
want to hear
day,
your
that
thoughts.
can be exhausting.
No, not with you.
No.
Not with you.
I was talking today, goddamn.
Absolutely. I love it.
Very relatable. I spent most of my life trying to be opposite of what I saw portrayed as the bad black person in the media. It can be exhausting. Get you a bag and fuck that shit.
Got a new face, Tyra. Welcome, baby.
Hello, new friend. I believe I too carry a shield. I'm not a spear. I don't feel prepared to use the spear to fight. I will always protect. Someone else will fight for me and the children.
But what if there is nobody to fight for you?
That's dangerous. That's how
What
you
if you
get stepped
taking
on.
all the blows? Like a shield can be broken. It can only take so much damage. So what do you do if defense is no longer available?
Thanos pull up. Rap.
Play off.
Boom. This is the best comment of the day. Exactly. 1,000,000,000%. My Dr. Stone voice. Good job. Very happy about this. I don't even watch Dr. Stone like that. That's like my next little binge, but good job. I'm hyper wearing white spaces, not fully comfortable in those spaces. Bars. A lot of hellos. I'm not totally uncomfortable in white spaces, but I am fully aware in those spaces as well.
Hypervigilant.
I was the opposite. I've always been in white spaces, so when I started trading into black spaces, I was a little nervous, but that's also because I was getting the black card. I was always getting the black card removed.
Should we do away with providing the black card? Or
Absolutely. Why would we even have one? To me,
Yeah, because I think that okay.
I don't. Yeah.
I talk a lot of relatively black shit on here. You do too. But then, if I'm having like a good day, it's gonna be all anime tits and like Captain America's whatever. And
Did you say anime tits?
Anime titties, yes.
Anime titties.
Okay.
Anime titties.
And it'll be
they're very flowy for no reason. They're just over exaggerated.
They don't adhere to the laws of gravity. It's
At
the
all.
stupidest shit ever.
Okay.
It'll be that, and I'll come in here and sing Paramore, and like it's like, nigga, you can't tell me like you're any blacker than me, because the nigga be like, we'll come in here, you know, and talk about, you know, DJ Quick lyrics, and it's like, yeah, but you don't know who Marcus Garvey is. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what is the parameters of the card? This card would be as big as that banner back there. So like, what do you mean? Because like, what are the parameters of what it means? And I don't like that shit, because we built this motherfucker, the earth.
Right.
So I'm all of it.
Right.
So a card really like be minimizing us to like, you know, I don't know,
Just
man,
some
early
weird-
2000s Ja Rule videos,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be that guy.
The card that has the parameters, it's not just a small box, but it's based in the negative stereotypes that we
That's
did
what I
not
was gonna say,
create.
too.
So that would be my advocacy, to get rid of the so-called black card, because as you said, we have created and influenced literally everything. We've had some sort of an influence on, or created, or gave birth to, or set the foundation for in modern civilization. So why should I not be able to accept it? But I will say you can still be interested in these things and not have the intention of being included into black culture. So I say we should pay attention to intention more so than what your interest is.
Yeah, the parameters of what the card is dumb. Because like, you know, even if you just keep it something simple like music, you don't know this, whatever, or that's not how insert artist would, you know, whatever. And it's like, you like this artist and the album, these 3 or 4 albums, but you didn't watch like this person did a whole documentary and they was hanging out with like Marilyn Manson to know his whole discography.
Right.
So like, it just, the parameters, it makes us just really, really small.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't even want to say like complicated, but like complexity is dope.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, black people got like 5 levels. I was like 30,000, and those 30,000 got subtext. Kiss my
Right.
ass.
And I
Card is
think
dumb.
we, like you said, a lot of times people hand people or whatever these cards or give them to them because there was something negative that they did or something that was
Right.
like funny or whatever. And it's like, we really need to get to a point of defining blackness. So even how you said, like, I love that, the whole like, okay, you're black presenting, but you don't really identify with culture. Like, that's a conversation that needs to be had, but it's just, there's so much more to us. There's so much more, like, you know, the essence of who we are. You guys as black men, you know, me as a black woman and the black woman, you know, that are watching and stuff, like, there, that is what makes us black. And sometimes those things can't be spoken to. So how can you validate it in somebody else?
Right.
It's just something, leave them where they are. They may be cool or whatever, but like trying to make them feel like they're black or they're a part of our culture, it diminishes. It's like, you don't even know who you are to be handing this card around.
Right. I would say, like, and we can move on to the next comments, but that made me think of, like, it's harder to get a black card than it is to get an invite to the cookout. We'll give white people invites to the cookout over simple shit, but we'll scrutinize each other and judge each other more harshly to get the black card. So
The cookout is closed. I have said that for at least 3 years straight, and I don't want it open. I want it closed. I really want them to like.
don't bring your white boyfriend to the cookout.
No, I
he
want
can't
it
come.
sealed off. I want the cookout to like be. I want them to like bolt the doors shut, because y'all don't be doing shit, and I don't like that shit.
Fair enough.
What is it?
Let's blow through these.
Explaining my culture to someone isn't my job, and I believe in gatekeeping. If you want to know, there's the whole internet.
The whole internet.
It's in your pocket.
Speaking of the cookout, man, like, I'm big on gatekeeping and shit. Like, I don't like y'all. I mean, I don't like
You
it.
ain't gotta
being-
sugarcoat it,
yeah,
it's
I don't like it used as a novelty. Like, this is what I do. It's what I do. Y'all didn't do that. You don't do that. Like, you don't do that. Never done that before. I understand. I know many friends of mine that didn't feel as though they fit in to black spaces because they weren't the conventional black person.
What is the conventional?
Can I say something? So it's not a thing of like, you're not black enough, right? There are some people who literally internally identify, or they have a problem, or it's self-hate.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. So not the, oh, you speak a certain way, or you're smart so that you don't somehow, you can't be black. It's not that. And those aren't, I don't think, even what you were talking about. It's the people who when they're by themselves or when they're with other non-Black people, they feel like they identify with them more, or they like to have negative thoughts about Black people, even though they are Black. And those are the Black people that I can't sit around. You get to sit with the white people with me.
Because see, like, to speak to that is like what I think they're talking about, you know, the Black card that feels like you don't talk Black enough, you don't talk this and that, which is terrible. But the crazy thing is, like, those same Black people that might give you or take your card for how you speak is the same person in their bio who says, I'm 1/16 Puerto Rican. Go to hell. Shut up. You were trying to find every inch to be non-Black. So shut up. All y'all can shut up. What's this one? Can't read it. That's tricky because the internet isn't always correct, but gatekeeping is important because appropriation is real. So you have to gauge who you're talking to and their intention. You fact check, man. There's journals, there's this, if you come back and tell me, like, you know, you read one thing and just not trying to study, and that's fine. Love that now all variations of Black folks are being more accepted. Bars. I was constantly told I wasn't Black enough or that I sounded white growing up, but that still didn't draw me to being in white spaces.
Because they still gonna let you know you're a nigga.
You're going to have your initiation at some point.
It's a wake-up call. Yes, in my real adult life, as opposed to my 20s, fake adult, I'm seeing more people comfortable with themselves and not being conventional. Also, kind of being conventional is like,
fuck
maybe
conventional.
Might even be some like white shit that they just put on you. Like,
absolutely.
A conventional Black person?
Conventional in general, the idea of conventional comes from Eurocentricity.
Oh, here we go. Let's get to the Jesus talk. I like Old Testament. No turning the other cheek, eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. I'm smite niggas left and right. I feel it, even though, you know, some of that was like weird white dudes doing their fucked up editing, but you know, it's cool. That's fine. This is such a exactly as beautiful, especially to see the kids accept themselves and having a. I don't even remember what we're talking about this.
We're talking about kids.
That confidence will give. I mean, we talked about kids, but yeah, man, whatever this is about, big up to the fucking kids. Exactly, DC. You get paid so well working outside the culture, sadly. Oh,
right.
Okay, I remember that.
And she works in the field, so she understands. She understands how that could be. So I've talked about that before, as far as like, I could be way more stable if I just joined an organization or an agency or things of that nature, not servicing my community. We talked about that at the Giants Den event that I was speaking at. Like, we sacrifice being able to help our people financially. Like, we want to help y'all so much so that we're losing money that we could easily be getting just pandering to some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, but I definitely think about that. I'm like, if I go up here and talk to, you know, Heather about her anxiety at whatever the hell, it's a lot of money that I could probably invest over here.
Yeah.
Utilizing one to fuel the other.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, word to Heather's issues, I'm gonna still help you with them, but like, you know, I'll fuck with them over here though.
Right.
It's definitely a double-edged sword, but if you said it best, everybody can go. Yeah.
And they don't need to.
I think you can be in white spaces and still support and lift up people. Exactly, leaving the door open and making a great impression.
You can be in white spaces and you can set the charges that you will blow up when you leave it.
She will lift
Set
up
this
Black
bitch
people
on
in the white spaces.
Yes.
And that's something that I've had to become a little more like, just understanding that it's a, you know, a war type thing. That's how I like to look at it. And everybody has a different role. I'm not the person that's supposed to sit with white people, but there is a Black person that is supposed to do it. And I can't knock you for being more able to sit with white people. And that's something that I've had to like do the work myself. Cause I'm like, when I'm with white people, I don't like it and they do this or whatever. So I don't want to take away from somebody else's Blackness, or if they feel like that's their role to educate white people. It's not mine.
See, I think it depends on how you're able to sit with them. If you are educating them, you are a little more patient and you are a little more like able to, you know, cool. If you're like, oh my God, Chad, I'm like, hey, that was a teachable moment. You just kind of hooked.
When you're around the white folks.
Because some of them, they're just more comfortable with white people.
Right.
So don't go in. If you're comfortable, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are actually willing to talk and do that work because I'm not not sitting with them.
Are you gonna be Will or are you gonna be Carlton when you're in the white spaces?
Yeah. Yeah, I hate the idea of leaving others behind, but I don't want to be slowed down or do more damage than anything trying to support and help everyone. Yeah, it's, I think that's actually like a good tidbit. Like, I know motherfuckers always think like war is, blood and guts and explosions outside, which we're not like too far off from. But if you think about it, like in war things, like I think it makes thought process like that a little easier of like, there is a sacrifice that comes with this greatness. And I think sometimes people say that shit and it sounds cool. It sounds lovely on the quotes. I'm going to always diss quote culture online because you niggas be saying shit. But it sounds cool and it sounds really like inspiring and shit. But like, when Leonidas got done talking that shit, them niggas went and died.
Right.
So like, it's like,
there's multiple approaches to war. It's not just the attacking, it's mental warfare, there's physical warfare, there's chemical warfare, there's all types of different warfare. Then they all encompass this whole thing that is supposed to lead to a greater outcome.
There's a price for this shit is what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Okay. What is this? I'm actively learning how to let people do things on their own. My need to save everyone had me leaving myself behind. But when I have the capacity to definitely go for it. Good job. I like that.
Congratulations.
That's dangerous.
Applause.
Real quick, because we're working on time right now.
Yep.
Oh, that pisses me off. I've never seen it in person. I would have to politely tell them to change or ask them why they felt the need to wear it. You didn't earn the right to wear those letters/colors.
That's right.
You're dangerous.
Shout out to the Reds.
Oh,
beat your ass if you got the wrong shit.
I would ask if they understand what they're wearing. Maybe to them, it means they're trying to be an ally. I'm not against them wearing the gear, letters.
The letters, don't do that. The shirt, maybe.
The new Black History.
The new Black History Maker shirt.
I'm against them wearing the I am a new Black History Maker shirt. We have Watch Us Make History and History Maker shirts.
Don't wear the I because you ain't part of the I.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
a
you feel?
and I tell them that we have stuff that you can feel more comfortable in, and the I am a new Black History Maker is, for the new Black History Maker.
What is this?
Let's pick a couple ones.
I'm so lovely, and I like to frolic among the rainbows and the clouds with the unicorns, throwing glitter at everything, but something take me out of my character. I try to console myself when I'm vocal. Okay.
She likes to disassociate and dwell in.
Yeah. All right.
Let me not pay attention to the reality of what is.
However, I don't like them pledging. It's weird and pure ignorance.
White people pledging?
Yeah, we every frat or sorority, every organization has a white member at different chapters.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Why you here? Some okay, but I'll say like 25% of the ones that do is like, why you here though?
When she said, I don't want a white person to refer to me as their Black friend.
Yeah, that's weird.
I have a Black friend, and you are the.
I'm just jumping in the convo, unsure if this was mentioned. Lil Baby said he's not saying nigga anymore in his newer songs.
Oh.
He doesn't like seeing it.
White people sing it to him.
I could take that. I mean,
at least it was a stance.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know it's fucking unreasonable to think you're gonna get 30,000 people to shut the fuck up, but I'm a little. Oh, y'all shut up.
It's doable.
And why do they want L? And why do they want to say it so bad? Because.
And I'm not going to go into that conversation with a white person.
Why do you want to say it so bad, sir? But so say it. What's the clip of Lindo?
Not others.
So say it. No, go ahead, say it. I'll say it with you.
Anything you can't do is intriguing, and white people aren't used to not being able to do something. It's a bar.
You can go to Lay's last. I won't say last comment, but
Oh,
come on, reload.
I'm about to say, man.
Do we?
We're still on YouTube.
Oh,
It cut off?
I guess so.
Hey, Patreon access, all the exclusive content. You guys get to keep going, but the radio show, they ended.
Yeah, one day I'll get this
Do you
timing
guys
together.
keep going
On here, sometimes we keep going because
Sometimes
they
I
still
do
get to
too.
see everything.
I
It may not
mean,
be on the app, but it'll be on here.
All I'm gonna do,
Absolutely.
is this, and then get like a little ender, little music transition. But yeah, it's YouTube time. Fuck that, women, not others. Else. Say that shit.
With your chest.
With her whole.
With your breast.
Yeah, with those with titty breasts, born and raised. Like, yikes.
Oh no, sis, or whatever. Yeah, I'm with that too.
Said that from her ovaries.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Having black skin, or even being raised by black, doesn't mean that you associate yourself with the culture. It makes a huge.
You need to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Topics, people. I was talking today, guys.
Absolutely. I love it.
Motherfuckers have to come in here and sit down next time.
See, I'm so glad that y'all. Thank you.
There we go. This is the one.
That's the one.
Invite no one to the cookout. Gatekeep the cookout. Fuck it.
We got security.
No marks.
There we go. What the fuck is she talking about? Like I don't. Oh, she's talking about Marks, like the name. I thought she was like said earlier. I got made fun of for talking white. I'm like, oh niggas, Mark. Where was where?
No Chets. No Brads.
Names.
No
That's it.
Liams.
Oh, is Mark a white? That's a white name.
I don't know. See, I thought in my mind, I thought she was like gonna be no Marks. So I was like, oh shit.
Well, I guess I don't know white
I
people
was gonna
enough to say if it's a white.
whitest.
I know black marks.
I mean, we know
I know
black
Marcus.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody can be given a black name. I mean, there's a lot of black Johnsons.
What I'm
and
saying is our
Jameses and-
perception. How do we perceive it?
Right.
Do we
I
it as a white
perceive
name?
Mark can be a white name because I mean it was created by white folk. Ain't no African countries that name.
I mean,
they
Not a
people
Mark.
Mark.
What about a Luke? And a John.
I like the name Luke.
I was trying not to go that
You
direction.
would try to go like
You said
and
and
a Matthew.
Wow, that's what we're doing.
Jeremiah,
Wow. Look at
Even
y'all.
the Timothy, man.
Saul's, Paul's, Timothy's.
You guys are trying. I'm glad this is so funny to them.
Oh man, we can say Jesus is a white name too. 'Cause technically.
I don't want to listen to this conversation.
Well, thank y'all for listening.
We love you.
You know,
We love you.
word to Roof and them,
You mad? Don't be.
and Martha, and Mary. God
This
damn.
is not fair because we can't go into the conversation.
Well, we'll be back next Tuesday, I guess.
Whatever.
I don't know how to end this except goodbye. And hallowed be thy name. Later.